Yo,
Groovy. You're back.
I'm back, bro.
So Shel, you touched the word motivation. And you said what motivates you then and what motivates you now. There are a lot of people right now that just finished COVID, just changed their life completely, and they really have no clue what's the next step. How do you get out of bed? What do you do? What do you do? What's your advice for somebody that is either unmotivated completely or simply not feeling what's happening right now in their life? What do you say? What's your advice, my friend?
I feel the world is very confused. It's like, what the hell just hit? Guys, it was crazy. I can't believe we were even stuck at home. I remember 2020, I was at home for I think 3 months. 3 months without, like, we're just at home and every day. I can't believe the masks. I can't believe how, like, this was a big disruption. I don't think the world's ever seen something that's lasted for 2 years like that, like where everything's just been shut down and these sort of things. So, firstly, pat yourself on the back for making one of the biggest things and getting through one of the biggest things that's ever hit this planet. It was really hard. The sad thing is everything got more expensive. You know, like everything just, the economy fell at the same time everything was happening. It just piled on this weight. Not only was it tough to take that break and to, like, you know, get that mental stress up, it was also the work, it was also the everything getting expensive, it was also people losing their jobs, it was also people dying, it was also like all of these sort of things. And I think it was a massive shift on the planet. I think you know, you don't question these things. I think it all happens at the right time. I think we needed a big shift in the world, and maybe we may not see it right now, but maybe in the years to come, I got a feeling that this made this shift in the right direction, where just like true colors came out. True colors came out. The whole world's going down. The big businesses don't give a shit. Their prices go up. Government don't give a shit. Everything goes up. Like true colors came on. That like you on survival, and you alone with your people is the only thing you got on this planet. Like you can't trust. You can't trust. You really want to, but you just can't. We're at that point now where money is such a powerful tool that people are so obsessed they don't even know who they are anymore, and they just continuously ruled by this money and ruled by this sort of object that sort of comes. So you know, start fighting a war that you can't win is the first one. You know, you sit there and you complain. You sit there and you say this and that, and like these sort of things are happening, which we all have a right to do. But there gets to a certain point that like this ship is moving in that one direction, you're not going to stop it. You're not the captain of that ship, you have no control of that ship. Doesn't matter how hard you try to be in control of that ship. What we don't realize is there's a whole nother ship, and I don't think people understand that. 90% of the planet is on that other ship. They still focused on the big one that's ruled by 10% of the planet, but it's not. There's a whole nother ship. And I think the biggest thing of advice was, you know, especially for me, was surrounding myself with the people that understand, like that sort of understood who I am and what the thing, and guys from similar stories. You'll be very powerful, you know, by building this whole community with the people that've been through the same thing, how powerful you come together and how quickly you start to shift things. So the first step you've got to do is you've got to get rid of all the shit in your life. I mean people, I mean habits, I mean anything that's no longer growing you anymore. Was Einstein said it, right? You keep doing the same thing, you get the same result, and you expect something different. Like that's that sort of thing. So the first thing you do is you start a day by day and you do something different. It's quite easy. It's quite easy. You do something different for the day, you get a different result. Quite simple. And you're gonna then start filtering what those results were. Like maybe they're worse results, maybe they're better results, maybe they're that. But at least you start to figure out the potion of like, holy shit, like I do something different happens, like these sort of things. And for example, like for me, I had the big hit with my dad and these sort of things, and I left the city. That was the big thing. I left the city. I met a whole bunch of new people, and it ended up turning into something huge. We ended up building a big company and doing these things, and I ended up learning a lot of different skills. But look at that little step of me doing something that I'm completely not used to, and that thing, and it just created a whole different result, and it ended up exploding my life and doing crazy things. I did try to destroy it, so don't look at it all as good. Like, it was a big shift in my life, but it also tried to like completely wreck me in that time. But it was great. So, you know, it's basically filtering. Like, through that time, I probably lost 90% of my friends coming here. Guys that I thought that loved me, guys that I thought that would care for me. They're no longer here. So I learned, you know, 90% of the people in your life, maybe even 80% of them need to be flushed. Very important lesson. And you also got to surround yourself with the people that have the same sort of mindset and growing sort of mentality. You want to make money, you be around money. Quite simple. You want to be around people that are happy, you got to go to a place where people are happy. Like, these are the sort of things. So the biggest step with that is to start monitoring yourself day by day. And you start off from tomorrow, and you start off from these sort of things. I'm sitting where I am right now, and this is what I currently do every day. Like, go back and go look at your last week. You don't even know you've been doing the same thing. And then you come back on the Sunday, you're like, why is my life still shit? Because you follow the same track and you follow the same road every single day. So start that little shift of something different. When that something different comes, it's great for the first 3 days, and then it gets really hard. It's very similar to trading and charting and these sort of things, where when a breakthrough is about to get through, like, it's the most resistance. It just doesn't want to get through. But when that breakthrough finally comes, it's the most beautiful run that you've seen. So just know that when you do make any shifts in your life, the first step's easy because it like sort of lingers you into that way, and then it gets really hard and like tests you, like, are you sure? You know, we spoke about a gym. You go to gym for the first 3 days. First 3 days are great. But by the second week, you take that 1 day off. Oh, I'm going to take a break. And then it just gets hard, and then you just completely smash through. So know that when you do make that shift, that you are going to be tested. It is going to, like, we us as human beings, we always fall back to safety. Always. So your body is naturally built like that. So whenever something new happens, no. Let me go back to what I know. So just know that, like, you're not stupid or you're not abnormal when that happens. As soon as something happens, you're always willing to shut it down and come completely back. And know that life gets the hardest when you're about to make a breakthrough. Like, it gets really hard. And that's the biggest step, where you got to continue through that breakthrough. Because when that breakthrough happens, you know, it's like I was speaking about charting and trading. When that breakthrough happens, there's no more resistance. Like, you'll be shocked how quick that wave actually just runs through. You know, I got a job offer. I think it was about a week before I was going to move this side. Not move, when I was going to actually come this side to leave the city. I got a job offer. So I made the decision, I'm going to go. And as I'm about to leave, 1 week before, Sheldon, here's some money. Stay and come work for us. You know, like, do you see how that little test just came there? I could have easily done it. I needed the money. I could have used the money. That would have been great. But I stuck to my decision. And once I cracked through that resistance, like, it just took me on this wave of like absolute craziness. So I think my biggest advice on it is you got to start with small shifts. When you start to find that life's getting hard and tough, just know that you're about to break through. So it's very important not to you got to remove the emotions from it and be like, I'm at a point where I'm about to make a big shift and an upgrade to who I am. Like, I gotta continue doing that. You gotta surround yourself with the right like-minded people. You gotta flush out the people that are not. And if you want to know how to do that, go do something different. Go do something completely different. You'll be very shocked how quickly they get filtered out. As soon as you start putting time and effort into them and you move. Like, I left all my friends. I lost 90% of them because I couldn't be there anymore. But the 10% stayed. And those 10% are the true friends that I still have today. So as soon as I left, like, those guys were all willing to give me up in a matter of a heartbeat. Guys that I've been friends with for years, people that I've been in relationship for years. As soon as I left, they all left me, and I was alone. And I was like, holy shit, like, who do I trust now? Like, everyone's gone. Like, is everything fake? Is this world a whole, like, imaginary bubble that just It just really wasn't a cool stage for me. Until I realized a few months later, like, holy shit, like my group got so much smaller, but they're true. They love me. Like, I can do what I need to do. Like, we started Chosen Ones and we started these things. You know why I started Chosen Ones? Because those boys all loved me before I had money. They all loved me before I had anything. They loved me. And then they appreciated me and they wanted me to be around through those stages. I'm in this world now where every single person wants me there, but there's always a question, or there's always something, or there's always like this, or always like that. Like, I love these people because they didn't give a shit about any of that. They just wanted me there. So, it's a filtering system, and do whatever it takes to get where your goal is. The money was the side. I had no money. Like, I had to shift and I had to make it happen, and these sort of things. Yeah. I don't know really how much to elaborate on that, but yeah.
Okay. How do you choose who comes into your life and who doesn't? Because you're obviously inundated with offers. Plenty of people trying to get your attention. How do you choose what comes in, what doesn't? How do you choose? What's the mechanism of choice, basically? How do you make these decisions on who comes into your sphere and who leaves your sphere? And how does that work for you?
So I got two ways of doing this. I've managed to build a really strong gut with feeling. You never ever doubt your gut. Like, you'll know the feeling already. Like, it's worth the shot or not. Always trust that. You're born with it. It's something that's massive. And I'll already know in the first few minutes if this person's there. Like, I've obviously developed a skill, but I know if that person's truly there for me, or they are there completely for using me, or for whatever I can basically provide. It doesn't mean that they don't do that at a later stage. It doesn't mean that at all. So, this is one of the hardest things. It's something I still fight with today. It's just still something that and it's heartbreaking, bro. It's heartbreaking when you really feel that someone's there for you and they're there that. And then when times get tough, they're gone, bro. And gone, it sucks because you've given your heart, you've given your care into this sort of thing. So I've always had a soft heart with things, but it's actually been it's a strength or a weakness through those times. So I purely trust my gut. Once my gut has approved, and once I can see this person's thing, I give them a shot. And for me, it's sad. It is sad, but I'm at that point where, like, there's two major warnings. Like when you start a job, you got a final written warning, and then you're fired. I'm very strict with that in my life as well now. Like, you fuck me once, okay, cool. But if you ever do it again, like, I am so strong with it. Like, I can write people off so fast, and I think it's just my protective way of doing things, or this thing. But, like, I deserve to do that. I've been taken rid of. Like, people have taken advantage of me, and I deserve to do that. So I'm not afraid to give chances. And to allow people in, but I got a very strict way of just say who you are and be who you are. Very simple. And I'm a lot smarter than what anyone thinks. I'll see it. I'll see anything that's different. And if you're with me, we're gonna change the planet. Like, we're gonna do phenomenal things, because I do everything I do with my heart every day. And I can't be fake. I've tried. It's the truth of it. I've tried. I can't. I cannot do it. So you're either one of us or you're not. And if you're not one of us and you're allowed in, at some point you get filtered out. Very simple. So trust the process.
Okay. Very powerful.
Amazing.
Very powerful.
Amazing.
Okay. So you keep saying the word heart and soft heart. You keep mentioning your heart and how it guides your decisions. Was that always the case? Or did you come into that in some way? Or were you just born this way and this is how you work?
I think there was a part where we were maybe born with it, but, like, this was truly from our mother. Like, My mother, she did whatever she could always for us. She never stopped. Never really had money. Got herself into a ton of debt, but she just never stopped giving, and like never ever stopped. Like she, in the little, like the amount of people that knew her without anything else of banter and stuff. Like I'm just talking people she met at work, people she met with friends. She was famous. Like when my mom's at a party or at a barbecue or anything like that, everyone knows Danny's there. Like everyone knows she's there. She's just set that presence by having that heart every day. So she always taught us that like money means shit, like let's just be good. And we always went to animal shelters and did things, and like she just taught us many different ways, always helping. So I got the soft heart definitely from that, and then I got it from my father too. My father had a different way of showing it, because you know he'd never had the affectionate love. He didn't have parents, he didn't have these things, so he didn't know how to physically sort of show it in that way. But he had a way of showing it hustling. Like, you know, when I had that first job and I had that van, I had my own little van as well, small little blue truck or whatever you want to call it. He was working at a job, and then he found another friend that found out about a generator, electrical generator, that they could sell somehow to another guy, and then go to another guy, and they would manage to make $1,500 by doing this. So he would literally, in his normal day of work, he would hustle the side job, and as soon as he got that side job, he took that money and he bought me my first car. Like, you know, so he had and he did this in many different ways. He would run himself dry of money tonight. Like he lived, I live tonight, I don't care about tomorrow, we can spend all my money, I'm taking you boys out, I'm taking you guys out, we're doing our things for the night. It was always the craziest and the wildest, and like not all fantastic, but great nights. But he would absolutely give everything that he had in that night. He did not give a shit about tomorrow. Tonight is the night we're gonna have. And I sit here now, and it's crazy. Like I've forgotten a lot of things that's happened in the last 3-4 years, because it just happened so fast. But I can remember 20, 30, 40 nights with my father. Like, and it just showed that perseverance of like, of giving, and like just like not giving a shit about the world, like just giving your time and effort and everything. You know, he worked hard for that money, but he's willing to give it away for a single night with you. He's willing to give it away for a single thing. So the heart came through in 2 different ways from my parents. To say I was born with it, probably yes, but I got it from my parents. I got it from the love from them. You know, they had me at 16 and 17 years old. That's young. That's very young, bro. But they made it happen. I slept in a bed. We made it work. I probably lived in about 12 to 15 houses in my lifetime. And we shifted all over the place. But they damn did it. And look now. Look now. I love my mother. Everything she's done for me. Every single sacrifice she's made for me and my family and my brother. I love my father so much. Like, look where we are now. All those sacrifices, look where we are now. So the heart comes from them, bro.
Beautiful. So, let's say for people, I'll be honest, like myself, I had to fight my way into my heart. I didn't have too many examples around me of what it is to live from the heart. I had to claw my way back in there. So we're born with it. I believe we're all born with it. But I got so sidetracked from it for a very long time. And I just had to fight my way back. And I did. What would you say to somebody that wants to live from their heart, but doesn't know how? What would you do if you now got lost completely and had to fight your way back? How would you do that?
So, you know, basically as you said, I think every human is born with it. Definitely, first thing. And I think every human has met a person in their life that made them feel that way, or increased that way, and allowed them to be that way. Yeah, I think we're at that stage where everyone's afraid to talk from the heart, because what are people going to think? And what are people that? Like, that's already the problem. Like, you can't talk from the heart or be that with the people that's around you, your so-called friends or your family. Like, that's already a massive sort of issue. Like, I remember being so afraid of it. Like, I was terrified when I had to step behind this camera and like, I gotta be me now. And like, I don't have the skills. I'm only like a few months in trading and like crypto, so I'm not the smart. These guys are way smarter than me. All I can do is talk from the heart. And I think for someone like I said, you know, people have, you know, you always have met someone in your life or something that would give you that that feeling that I could be this. Like, I can talk about this tonight and I can express it tonight, and these sort of things. So my biggest advice to it is, firstly, if you can't do that around the people that so-called love you, then you got a big problem. You got to start filtering that very quickly. And secondly, who gives a shit? Like, who gives it like an absolute, like, who cares? Like, if I can't sit and talk about the heart, if you don't like it, then there's the door. Like, it's quite simple. You need to stop being afraid of being that, because you may filter out 90% of your life by being that, but you'll fill a whole nother 90% of people that actually give a shit about that and approve of that and grow that and give you that whole sort of feeling behind it. So the biggest way of doing that is, like, you gotta start it, and you gotta work your ass off to not stop it. Like, that's the biggest way. You're gonna meet the people that's gonna try to stop it. You're gonna meet the people that's gonna pull you away from it, and these sort of things. And you just gotta be able to see that. You know, what is our biggest thing, like, that we've said this year, is the fact that we can acknowledge things is my most powerful tool. I know when someone's using me now. Like, that's powerful. I never knew that before. Like, I know when someone's there for true, for this or for that. Like, you start to develop the skill as you start going through that process. And one thing I can promise you is this talking from the heart and these sort of things. It takes a small step. It takes a small step. And it does become this road and this ladder of getting there. But holy shit, how cool your story is, and how cool the road that it was to take you there. It is absolutely amazing. Like, stop being afraid. Who loves you. Who don't will be filtered out. It's going to hurt you a little bit. You're going to cry a little bit. In 3 months' time, you're going to meet better people, and your life's going to shift very quickly. Take the damn step. Stop being afraid. Be proud of who you are, and kick ass out there. I'm proud of you. I believe in you, and you can absolutely do it.
Fuck yeah! Oh! Exactly. I am satisfied.
Me too. Me too.
I feel satisfied.
Me too.
I think that's more than enough.